All right. This next one is by FBE Capital. Why men age like fine wine in the dating market. Why women like to date older men. I've always heard that women like to date older men because, you know, they're more financially stable. They don't come with a lot of baggage and, you know, they generally just have their head about them and they know what they want. Whereas younger men just are, you know, impulsive. But let's see what this video has to say, shall we?
Warning, this video contains aggressively positive messaging about men.
Aggressively positive messaging about men. It is so aggressively positive.
Some people will definitely be offended.
I have gained weight. I'm 34 years old. I'm not 25 anymore. And a guy that I dated when I was 25 just came back into my life. And he's in the best fucking shape of his life.
Okay. You know,
Shape of his life.
if you're driving, don't do this stupid ass shit. God. I get if you want to record when you're driving, but record, you know, the front of your car so you can record if something happens to you. Don't do this dumbass shit. You're going to get yourself killed. You might final destination yourself. Don't record yourself and look at the fucking camera while you're driving. If you want to look at yourself while you're driving, if you want to record yourself while you're in your car, make sure you're not driving. Because if you're doing this stupid shit, you're just a fucking moron.
Goggle.
Older guys, 100%.
Older guys.
Older guys.
Mature men are definitely better, 100%. They know what they want in life, you know?
Because they're more intelligent, they've got more money, which means they won't ask you for anything, more interesting, often better looking.
I'm 31, and I have wrinkles on my forehead, saggy titties, and jowls. And he gets new gray hairs in his beard and his mustache, and he's never looked sexier, ever.
Jealousy because my ex is really out there working it.
This is like so bad saying this. We're talking like 35, 40, like up.
And today we're going to be talking all about why younger women like older men. So
younger women think of older men as more confident, assertive, and masculine than guys their age. And that's incredibly sexy to a woman.
The builders still are on the scaffolding looking over, but I am invisible to them.
Well, here's the thing, especially for a lot of guys who are actually wanting to start a family, we tend to generally look for women who are much younger than us. Because for those who do not know, it is incredibly harder and more dangerous for women to be having children from the age of 35 and older. It is incredibly more difficult, and it is a lot more dangerous for them to be having children at that age. Women can have kids after the age of 35, but like I said, it just becomes more difficult and it's more dangerous. But men tend to generally look for women who are much younger than them. One, because, well, they still look incredibly hot. And two, it's, you know, they're at a better age for having kids. There are a lot more meaner reasons too, but I'm not listing those because I'm not that much of an asshole.
So, if you watched my previous video with the very fitting name I Got Cancelled, then you know that I'm currently being censored by YouTube for simply asking basic questions about modern feminism, or as YouTube likes to call it, and I get hit with a fucking hate speech. Are you kidding me, YouTube? Yeah, that happened.
That's the funny thing. If there's any sort of criticism or anything like that towards women, it's for some reason caught a lot more quickly, and it's just, what the hell? That's odd. Sorry, one of the lights I have for some reason, one part is yellow, the rest of it is white. I don't understand why it's doing that. But for some reason it's taken down or it's censored or whatever, whereas if it's against men, it's not even touched. It's fucking weird. It's biased is what it is.
So anyways, if I'm not allowed to be critical on the platform, then let's be positive on the platform and talk about why men are so amazing.
Yeah. Dude, I would be so afraid to do that if I had a kid.
Since pretty much anywhere else, all they talk about is how terrible men are.
As a heterosexual female, I think we could all agree that the number one reason we are not dating is men. And
the reason why you're not dating is because you're a dumbass. You keep choosing the shitty men. See, this is what I find really fucking stupid, is women that choose... The men that they choose seem to be... shitty. They seem to be, some of them mentally abusing, emotionally abusing, or physically abusing, or any combination thereof. Or they cheat, and then they seem to get that one guy. They break up with them, they're sad, they say men ain't shit. And then the next guy they choose is pretty much the exact same type of guy. And then they keep choosing the same guy over and over and over and fucking over again. And then they start to say all men are shit. All men are stupid. Men are horrible. No, you dumb bitch. It is the men you choose that are fucking horrible. So how about you choose a guy that's actually nice, that's actually good, respectful, has morals, and has a conscience. Your type of man seems to be the one that is the supposed bad boy. That is a shithead. So you have nobody to blame but yourself for choosing dumbasses.
Not accept the misogynistic treatment that men have been doing for centuries.
According to this article in the New York Times, it says that men are becoming obsolete.
Hooking up with men or being intimate with men who don't respect us at all and actually actively dislike us.
Are we done pretending hookup culture is empowering? Well, you should be done with it. It's you ladies that are the reason why hookup culture is existing. Men are not the ones who created it.
Actively are using us.
Ladies, it's not that men are using you, it's just that you were letting them. If you don't want them to sleep with you, you have the power to say no. One word, and it won't happen. Unless you run into a guy who just doesn't know the meaning of the word no, then you know what? At that point, it's not your fault. Yeah, sorry for that happening. But ladies, you are the ones that are in control of sex. So therefore, hookup culture exists because of you. So you want hookup culture to end? Stop hooking up with every fucking guy you see.
By the way, if you're also fed up with all of this man bashing on the mainstream and social media, then please drop a like on the video to show that men are fucking awesome, okay? Because at some point, you do have to take responsibility for the god-awful selection process that you are utilizing.
I don't understand. I don't understand the ladies that go on these, like on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, or whatever, and they record themselves bawling their eyes out about, woe is me, I can't find a guy. I can't find a good guy. There are plenty of good guys. I can guarantee you that they're probably all in your fucking friend zone that you say, no, I don't. I just see you as a friend. I can't find a guy. Nobody wants me. That's pretty much your own fault.
I mean, you wouldn't keep buying the same shitty banana from the same shitty store now, would you? No, you would go to a different store or just pick a different piece. But somehow, when it comes to the world of dating, it's always the banana's fault when things end in a disaster. But I digress. Because what I would like to focus on today is the so-called unfair double standard in dating.
That guy there that plays 007, that is my mom's favorite Bond. Mine is the guy who played in GoldenEye. I can't remember his name.
That men age like fine wine and that women are no longer valued as they get older, or that after a certain age they become invisible to men.
And I also get that back sometimes, that women are starting to feel invisible at that age. What does it come down to?
Oh God, dating is a freaking disaster. It's not a place you actually want to be in your 50s.
I think when it comes to dating, it gets harder and harder for women the older they get. And it starts to become a little bit easier for guys the older they get. So it's like, it's for women when they're young, it's easy. For guys when they're young, it's hard. And then it does a complete 180 the older both of them get. So younger, it's easier. Older, it's harder. Younger, it's harder. Older, it's easier. I'm getting older and it's still hard for me. I've been single for over 10 years and I don't fucking like it.
They all go for the younger women. So my dating struggle.
For me, that's my own fault though.
Even though I think I'm pretty smart and I'm not bad looking, and I am as invisible to I'd say 70% of the men as any woman who's 56.
You know, like I'm single now and I'm 54 this year, and then you think, well, who is going to be interested in me when they can get a 30-year-old?
Now, the invisibility argument pretty much only happens to women who derive their entire self-worth or careers on their looks and nothing else, and if that is the case, then just like with an athlete who turns 30, you will lose market value fast as you get older.
I know LeBron thinks he can, but he can't. His body is not equipped to take the rigors.
Person to blame? It's Tom Brady. Ain't gonna get it done because the old man is an old man.
Ronaldo is too old to press/defend.
You know what? It's really freaking hard to be a woman because we really get dismissed from the table.
Tom Brady's just about done. It could be his next game he plays, it could be a year from now, but he is going to fall off a cliff.
But somehow, when this happens to a female model or actress, it is all of a sudden sexist and it's a double standard. Which brings us to the real reason why men...
You cannot, rely on your looks. You can't only rely on your looks. Ladies, you have to find what else about you makes you attractive to the opposite sex. Or, to the same sex if you're gay. You can't just solely rely on your looks, because you have to realize the older you get, your looks will start to decline. Now, not very many women can, keep looking gorgeous into their 60s or 70s. There's not very many of them. So you have to find one or more things that make you attractive to the opposite sex. For some people, it's their... Excuse me, I'm sorry. For some people, it's their intellect, their hobby, their culinary skills, or... something like that, or whatever else. You have to find what makes you more attractive. You cannot just rely on your looks.
Men age like fine wine, since this has everything to do with what men and women are looking for in a long-term partner.
What do I look for? Intelligence, wit.
You've got a shopping list.
I've got a shopping list.
Her personality. And of course, that ass.
I look for for looks, for beauty, personality.
Pretty boys. Pretty boys. I was going to say.
It is hard to really. It is hard to believe a lot of people when they say personality. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some people who truly look more into the person's personality than they do their looks. Don't get me wrong. There are those people, but. It's hard to believe when some people say that they're looking more into the personality than the looks. Now, despite what people think and say, looks to a certain degree are important, because it is that initial thing that draws the person in. Now, it is also a nice bonus to have because, you know, it'd be nice to have somebody that's beautiful to look at. You want to be, you know, attracted to them, to have intimacy. So, to a certain degree, looks are important. But they are not the forefront of what is important.
Money as well, but that is something that I don't really want to go on YouTube. Someone with a good job, or at least like maybe educated, but knowledge,
intelligence,
brain, experience.
Ideal girl, she obviously has to be on point, like look wise, and then her personality.
When you listen carefully to what men and women truly want in a long-term partner, you'll notice that
him, Pierce Brosnan, I think his name is. Yeah,
not only are these two wildly different.
He is my favorite Bond. This guy is my favorite James Bond. Mainly because he's the one I grew up with.
But more importantly, these qualities are also achieved at very different stages in life. Most of the things that women find attractive in men simply come with age and experience, sometimes taking years to develop.
Okay, so number one on my list is they know what they want. So a guy that has been through more, he's gone through a couple jobs, he is a little bit older, he's more established in life, is probably gonna know what he wants a lot more than someone younger who's just kind of getting into the swing of things and figuring things out.
Let's take a look at physical attractiveness, for instance.
I always go for tall, dark rugby players, basically.
Older because they're taller.
I think the tall thing's a big thing for girls, because for me, I like to feel.
There is another thing there that I think it is personally. I'll say this: your preference is what you want. You know, I got nothing against your preference. You know, you like who you like. I just personally think it's really dumb to nix every guy solely on their height. Because you know for a fact their height is something that they cannot control. And it's the one thing I find hilarious and stupid is that when women get upset when a guy says that they don't want someone who's fat, when they clearly know that their body weight is something that they can completely control, whereas a guy's height, we have no control. So it's just to X someone out solely on something that they cannot control, I think is really disrespectful and hurtful. But like I said, everybody has the preference, and you're allowed to like what you like. You're allowed to have what you want in a person that you would like to date. I just think it sucks that a lot of guys are X'd out solely because that they're seen as too short.
Like I'm petite. Yeah.
Most women favor tall, athletic men with strong facial features, which naturally comes with time, age, and a dedication to sportive activities. For most men, this starts to take effect in their early 20s and can peak all the way up into their mid-30s or even early 40s. Now, when it comes to intellect, most women like a smart, witty guy who's charming and has a great way with words. This can only come from experience and education, which again can only be developed over longer periods of time.
The guys do age well, attractively, like physically, aesthetically, but also just the way they carry themselves. They're not there to answer to anyone else.
A 17-year-old might look great, but he's probably lacking the charm necessary to really impress a woman, while a more experienced 25-year-old is probably better at saying the right things and carrying himself in a very attractive way.
Confidence is huge.
No girl likes guys that are not confident.
So with age simply comes more experience and skill, and these two together bring a level of confidence which in itself is also considered very sexy. So this all brings us to the most important quality that women are looking for in a long-term partner, and it explains even better why women like older men, and thus why men age like fine wine, and that is future prospects. This includes a wide range of qualities such as your level of success, like your job, your house, your car, etc. Basically, having your shit together.
The vision for long-term money is such a turn on for me, and I'm sure a lot of girls.
They're more responsible. I think if they put themselves sorted out, then they're more likely to understand how to treat a woman. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you could sort yourself out, then you can worry about someone else afterwards.
Okay. I understand. We judge if you live with your mama.
I feel like the man not living at home would be more attractive to me.
Now, just as with the qualities and skills that we discussed earlier, this is again not something you will find in a hot 19-year-old who's in his second year in college. As a matter of fact, it's probably not even something that you'll find in a mid-20-year-old, since most of these qualities really start to take effect for men in their early 30s.
If you can like balance things out and you're saving money and you're responsible for your money, I think that's more attractive.
I mean, just think about it. Best case scenario, you go to university at 18 and do a 3-year bachelor and a 1-year master, right? That's a minimum of 4 years if you don't get totally fucked up along the way. Or worse, you choose something like medical school and end up with even more debt and extra years of residency before you can actually start to earn some real money. Now, best case scenario, you are a handsome, tall, broke 22-year-old college grad, heavily in debt and working his first corporate job. So here come the future prospect questions. Are you ready to stop partying now? Probably not. Do you want to get married? No. Do you want to buy a house and a nice car? Yes, but you can't afford it. So more than likely, for the next 5 years, this 22-year-old man probably wants to work his way up the corporate ladder first, pay off some debt, save up some money, and slowly start to settle down. This puts him in his late 20s, early 30s for his peak attractiveness to most women. Now when you run this example with a non-college grad, you could argue that he's already working at 18, so he probably wants to get married and buy a house at 24, and yes, that is true. However, here comes a nice little twist called modern feminism, and modern feminism will tell most women that that guy is not good enough since 1, he's not a college educated guy, and 2, he's not making enough money since he needs to be making 6-figure salaries or more, which is absolutely...
I think it... I think it's hilarious how out of touch a lot of these sort of women are with, you know, reality, thinking that the average income of a guy is somewhere in the 6 figures, you know, $100,000+ a year, which that is not the, you know, median income. In the United States, I think the median income is anywhere between $45,000 and $60,000, I think. I'm not exactly sure. Hey Siri, what is the median income of the United States?
As per United States Census Bureau 2022 data, the median per capita income in the United States is $37,683, while median household income is around $69,021. This is from Wikipedia.
Okay. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Okay, so per capita, it's around $38,000, and for a household, it's around $70,000. For them to be thinking it's $100,000 or more is hilariously laughable. We wouldn't really have as much poverty if people were able to actually make that much as a median income, but, you know, that's not the case. Now, if you run into women who are saying that you can't date me unless you're making $100,000, $200,000 or more than that a year, don't date them. They're nothing but materialistic, evil women. So it's just you your life would be less stressful if you don't date those kind of women.
Insane.
How much money do you think a guy should make per year?
Depends where they live. I mean, if I'm like dating them, it'd be nice if they were at least making 100,000.
Like $1 million,
See?
$2 million.
Oh, lady. Oh my God. 7 figures. 7. Do you know how difficult it is for somebody to be making 7 figures a year? That is not easy.
100, like 500 grand? Is that a lot? Someone that you would consider wanting to be with the rest of your life. 300K.
A 40-year-old in...
Yeah. Materialistic bitches.
A college-educated guy who's ready to get married and have kids while owning one or maybe even multiple houses and making a decent salary is...
Like for me, I make, I think, almost $55,000 a year with my full-time job. I think. Let me check real quick. do some quick calculations here. Let's see. I think that's what I make. Let's round it up. Okay, I make almost $54,000 a year on what I currently make. And I think that's fine. For the apartment I live in right now, if I wasn't, stupid with my money, I live comfortably. I need to find a better place to live, but, I wish I could win the Powerball as well. But that's not realistically possible. So, but to expect somebody to make 6 to 7 figures a year to date you is not realistically possible. I mean, there are plenty of people who make 6 figures because they've worked hard for where they're at. But for you to expect them to choose you and to pay for the lifestyle that you want, you are fucking delusional. Those type of guys have plenty of women to choose from. And for you to expect them to choose you is fucking hilarious.
He's easily able to date a hot 24 or 28-year-old. So clearly, an older man is much more attractive to most women than a 21 or 22-year-old. However, when we look at what men want in a relationship, things change quite a bit, and the desirable age range changes a lot.
My ideal girl? Yeah. Someone smart, someone funny, yeah, someone pretty.
Really, her being nice and taking care of me.
What women think matter to men actually don't. We don't care about your money. We don't care that you're independent. We don't care you are a quote-unquote boss bitch. Like, no one cares about any of that.
Oh yeah, especially the boss bitch shit. No guy wants that because that is nothing but stressful and irritating and infuriating. You are, no.
Loyalty. I would need my woman to be my friend because I don't just want to be with someone that I don't get along with.
As long as you're mellow and you're chill. I like a girl that doesn't fuck with nobody. I don't want no girl that has a bunch of thought-ass friends. I don't want none of that shit.
What about the height? Height? Yeah. That doesn't bother me really.
So you see, most men do not care about how successful a woman is. Next to obviously being attracted to her physically, all that most guys really want is simply a nice, caring girl that you actually enjoy being around and that you are proud to call your girlfriend or the mother of your kids. Clearly, every single woman can obtain these qualities very easily and at a young age.
The other thing that a lot of guys don't want is for their woman to be going out partying at bars and all those and clubs and all those stuff. It's not because that we're trying to control you. It is because that we know how other guys operate in those places, and we rather not give them the chance to try something and for you to be a drunk idiot at that point and make a stupid dumbass decision. Now, there are some guys who are controlling, but most of the men don't want their women going out with their friends into those places because we know the possibility of what might happen.
I'm talking about after they turn 18. Can't emphasize that part enough. Now, being nice and caring doesn't take years to develop, which means that women in their early 20s already have all of the desirable qualities that men like. Everything that women find attractive in men usually takes time to develop and acquire, whereas everything that men really find attractive in women are already present in their early 20s. So clearly, when you put all of these things together, most men won't hit their peak until they get in that late 20s, early 30 range, and after that, if they manage their finances right by investing or climbing the corporate ladder, they will simply build more and more assets each year. Which means that if they also maintain their physique to a certain degree, these guys will be highly desirable in their mid to late 30s, all the way up to their early 50s, since they will have all the qualities that most women are looking for. This was Why Men Age Like Fine Wine. Please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for more videos.
Yeah. A lot of things for people to digest in that one. But yeah, like the guy said, when it comes to women that men choose, we don't care if you're highly educated. We don't care if you have a high-paying job. We don't care if you're some sort of boss bitch or some annoying shit like that. We don't care about the amount of money you make. We don't care about that stuff. We don't care about the same kind of things you care about that you want in men. We want somebody who is respectful to us, who will not cheat on us, will not have thought-ass friends that try to make them go out clubbing every few days a week. Somebody who makes our house feel like a home, and somebody who will take care of us. That's the kind of women a lot of guys want. But for some reason, a lot of these women can't seem to get that through their thick, dumbass skull. So it's just, I don't get why they can't understand that.